pretty amazing. And so we started doing the Total Rewire, and we met him back in October through one of our mentors, Lula. And at that point, there was a lot of stuff that was kind of going bad. In my life, I can speak for myself. But like just my job, didn't really know what I was doing. Lots of non-clarity, and relationships are kind of falling apart. I was not living inspired at all. And so I just kind of made a choice for myself and said, I'm just going to show up to this thing. I have no idea what it is, but I was kind of coming from a desperate place. Like, I just want to do whatever it takes, you know? So I'm going to raise my hand. I'm going to like get involved and do the thing. And that's what I did. And ultimately, I actually got picked to do a rewire, which is pretty amazing. So I worked with him for like 20 something minutes, and he helped me to rewire this, basically a financial trauma that we went through a few years ago. And now there's no like charge to it. So it's just kind of, it's flat, it's neutral. So this work's been pretty amazing. Like, we use it every day. And I always tell people, like, with this work, I know that if I've never worked with Dr. T again, I know that I can keep going with it and keep balancing myself out. So it's like, it's very applicational. So
yes, so we are super excited for anybody and everybody who's doing Total Rewire in May. And without further ado, let's bring on our mentor, our teacher, the most amazing Indian man you'll ever meet, Dr. Alok Trivedi.
Thank you guys so much. Hey, welcome guys, welcome to day 3 of the workshop. Thank you for being here at Rewire Your Life. Let's give it up for Jason and Lizelle, all the way from Hawaii. 7 a.m. getting up to introduce. I appreciate it so much. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys all for joining me. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys. Thank you. For those of you who are watching at home and are in the VIP room, welcome to you guys, from John and Burke and family, and Caleb and Linda and Nicole and Marion. And thank you guys. And there you are, Jason Lizelle. Thank you guys for being here as well. For those of you who are not in VIP, I welcome you as well. And I thank you. I can see, I think it's Venny. I can see Rocky in there. I can see Melissa. I can see iPhone. And Sunday, I see you as well. And for those of you who don't have your cameras on, turn them on. Let's get to work. We got a lot of work to do today. We've got lots to do today. I want to tell you that, like yesterday, you guys have been amazing. I'm not going to lie. You guys have been absolutely amazing with your videos and your comments and your sharing, and the community that's been developing here is just wild to watch. And it's wild to watch us converse together, right? I got a question. Tell me who's here for the very first time over the last 3 days live with me here. Just raise your hand if you're here live for the first time. Type in the chat box if you're live for the first time, right? Yeah, I see a couple. I see Monique is here for the first time. And that, welcome for those of you here for the first time. So for everyone who's here for the first time, it's kind of like, okay, what are we doing? There's a lot being going on here, whether you're on social media here on Facebook or TikTok or Instagram or any of the other ones that are out there. I can't keep up with that. But for any of those who are there or here for the first time, welcome to the Rewire Your Life Challenge. And I've got a lot of work to do today. Now, I need your permission before I really get started today. So I'm probably going to go over time today. Is that okay? Does anyone have an issue with that if I give you more content, more information, more transformational strategies? Would that be okay with you guys? Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, I thought that'd be okay. And hang on. I'm telling you what. You guys are not going to want to go anywhere, because I've got a huge surprise for you. Huge. Like, nobody knows it except me and my team. And they just found out about it this morning at like 7 a.m. So nobody knows about this. This is down low. So Rebecca, don't try and text anyone on my team. Be like, what is it? Like, you're not going to find out. You have to wait just like everybody else does. But it's a huge, huge surprise that I'm going to be sharing with you guys today. And I promise you that it is huge. That's all I'm going to say about it. So that being the case, let's go to camera 6, and I want to show everyone here how we're having a conversation. Say, look, this is everyone here. Say hi to yourselves. Everyone wave to yourselves, because I can see all of you, right? I see you. I see you, Nina. It was a great video you posted last night. I know you were busy, but thanks for doing it. I appreciate it. Elena, I see you as well. Vicky, I see you as well. For everyone here, let's go to the chat board here. Type in the chat box. Say hi to me on the chat box over here. For those of you in VIP, I can connect with you in chat. I see Caleb. I see people typing in here. This gets really up close and personal. This gets really intimate. Like this is a lot of me. It's really close. So I just say that. Aloha to you as well. And for those of you guys here. So my point in showing you all of this again is that we're going to chat. We're going to have a conversation over the course of the next couple hours. You and I are going to chat. We're going to talk. We're going to have this whole conversation about what we're going to do, about how we're rewiring our life to live a greater life. And I think at the end of the day, look, you know, I had a beautiful conversation with a lady just a little while ago about life and what we all want to do and want to live through and want to create out of our life. And I think ultimately, we all want to live a life that we can look back at and say, I'm grateful I got to live that. Wouldn't we? Isn't that really what we ultimately want? Like, I'm grateful I got to live that experience in your life. I think that's ultimately why we're here inside of this, and ultimately why we want to do the things we want to do. And I say this to you because if you're not, it's up to you. That's what I say. If it's not, it's up to you. We got to go in, do the work to help change that, but we can do that. So, as I've said for probably 22 years now, you can't live a macro life without micro wins. So I want to start today with some micro wins. Who's got their micro wins today? Raise your Zoom hand, your ethnically flavored Zoom hand for today, and tell me who you are, where you're from, who's your favorite superhero, and I want to hear your micro wins. Now, I will tell you this. As we saw yesterday with Marie, if you raise your hand, you may get me to help you see some clarity in your life. Did that help you yesterday when I was able to work through someone and their journey? Was that clarifying for some of you? Yeah. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, if we're going to do this together, I'm going to need for you to tell me by a thumbs up, a hands up. Can we do that? Okay. That's conversational. If I'm going to talk to you, I need you to talk back to me. That's why we have this, right? So I'm going to make sure we talk to somebody that's completely real, completely true, and tell me what your micro win is. Amanda, who do we have first? Hey, we're back.
Let's give it up for Maine, everybody. There we
Hey,
go.
Maine.
Sorry about that. My mic was off.
Hey, I didn't even know I was up there.
You're up there. So tell me, after the work that we did
Yes.
yesterday, what changed and where are you at today?
Well, I had a phenomenal micro win today. I had a rough meeting this morning, but I was able to keep my composure. I did not get into my emotions. I did my homework last night. I was able to just really stay in that good place. And the only thing that I experienced even remotely last night was a little insecurity. And it wasn't in our list of things, but I didn't note it because I felt it.
It's okay.
And I got through it without all of the drama and everything. So I'm loving it already.
Great job.
And I'm signed up for Rewire.
There you go. Let's give it up. Well done. Great job. Great job. Great work in that, right? It's amazing when you start paying attention to things, how things start to shift. So great work in that. Great. Who do we have next?
Yes.
Great job. Let's give it up for Jody, everybody. Jody, let everyone know where you're from, what you do, and who your favorite teacher here is.
Hey, Jody.
Hi, my name is Jody. I am from the Quad Cities, Iowa, and I am a office manager and small business owner with my dad.
I love it. So what was a big micro win that you had?
My big micro win is I picked up a girlfriend this morning and we went to the gym and I got to talk to her about day 2 of Rewire Your Life. And in that, she told me that I am in service to people without even realizing it by helping her through a trauma.
That's huge.
So that was a heart feel.
That's huge. Like it's so cool how the ripple effect of this works, right? And Jody, you're an example of this, right? Like you don't even know, you're telling people, you're just talking to people about your life and your journey, and someone else gets to hear it and it's helping other people. And that's the ripple effect.
Yes.
And when you become more inspired, you automatically are able to trickle that to other people. you're automatically able to bring that to other people and be able to help them resonate at a whole different level. And that's amazing that you were able to contribute to that. So great work with that. Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you. She says since doing this work with you, I'm becoming a different person. So she's seeing changes. I don't see them, but she sees them. So
you know
great.
what, Jody? I'll tell you what. It's what everybody says. It's you don't see the change. One of my old mentors used to say this, is that changes that happen on the inside, you don't see, but eventually they show up. It's like losing weight. Let me give you an example, right? It's like losing weight. Your body is shifting from a sugar burning machine to a fat burning machine, but you don't see it, but you continually do it every single day. You follow the diet, the exercise, the program, and you just do it every single day, but you don't know it. And all of a sudden, you now go to the doctor or you see a bunch of friends and that you haven't seen in a long time and say, "Oh my God, you look amazing. What have you been doing?" You're like, "I don't know. I'm just living. Have I lost weight? I don't realize it." And all of a sudden you're down like 20 pounds or 30 pounds and you don't even know it, because change happens on the inside, not on the outside. It never happens on the outside. It starts with you on the inside first. So great work with that, Jody. Great work.
Thank you.
Great work. Now, some of you are sitting there quiet. And you know what? I don't really sit around watching quiet people. So I'm going to start calling people out. And the first person I want to call out is Miss Burke and Emily. I kept on reading it family. There she is. Let's give it up. Good morning or afternoon or evening, wherever you are in the world. Tell me where you're from, what you do, and who's your favorite superhero?
So I'm from Idaho. I'm a stay-at-home mom to 4 kids, and my superhero is Wonder Woman.
I love it.
God just named Wonder Woman.
She's amazing. There's no question about it. There's no question about
Yeah,
it.
my micro.
Yeah, tell me about your
My
micro.
micro is from my takeaway from yesterday was valuing myself. So this morning, my morning freed up a little bit after I took my kids to school, and I started thinking of all the things I should do. Get that dumb word "should," and I was able to bring it back to what my mind and body needed, and to value myself of what do I need today. And I did yoga this morning and took time for myself to value myself.
So amazing. So amazing. Let's give it up for that, right? Great job. Great job. Great work. So how did it feel to you that you were able to take some time for yourself this morning?
Good. I feel really balanced. I feel calm.
Yes.
My nervous system feels regulated. I feel just like I'm ready for the day.
You use an interesting word, regulated. It sounds like you've been doing work on yourself from before, because that's not a person that's going to walk around the street and say, "My nervous system's regulated." It's kind of what I do. I have a regulated nervous system. It's not normal vernacular, right? So it sounds like you've been doing stuff to try and help yourself for some time. How long have you been working on yourself?
About 2 years. I started doing craniosacral therapy and learning about the mind-body connection, and now I'm just taking it. I want to dig deeper.
I love it. I love it. And what have you been doing? You did craniosacral, which is amazing. I get craniosacral myself. It's fantastic work. And so what have you done deeper? How have you dug deeper into it?
Well, I feel like I'm to the point where I understand it, and now I feel like the digging deeper is really putting that into action.
Great. And so yoga was the first step today. And then what are we going to do? What are we going to make a commitment to do here going forward?
Listening to my heart.
Great. Great.
I feel like I get and undoing the word "should" in my mind, shifting my mind to what do I need? What do I want? So that's going to be my moving forward goal.
I love that. Can I challenge that a little bit?
Yes.
What if we shifted what do I need to what do I want to what would I love? That's a different equation, isn't it? It's a different conversation.
It is. I like that.
That's a different story you're going to tell yourself, a different set of answers and a different set of actions. Because the questions you ask yourself determine the quality of the life that you get to live. And if you don't do the things that you need to do or have to do, you're stuck in this place. At Total Rewire, we'll cover this much more. in this place called the amygdala, which is a survival center of the brain. And when you actually move towards the I love to part of the brain, and you actually start functioning from there, you're actually functioning from higher centers of the brain, which actually give you much more control and certainty around your life. And so I just challenge you to maybe, not to say what you're saying is wrong. I mean, you could do that, but maybe if we can sprinkle a little, what would I love to do between those two? You may get a different response and a different answer to life because of that. Does that make sense?
That's great. I'll do that.
I love that.
Yes.
I love that. Let's give it up for Emily. Emily Burke. Great job. All right. Now I'm looking at you, who's sitting there quietly, not saying much. Monique Ramirez. You're our next contestant on the Rewire Your Life. That was pretty good. You're the next contestant on Rewire Your Life. I think we've almost got you. We had you. We're coming back here in just a second as they're getting that set up and the team is working on that. It's amazing when you start working on yourself and getting clarity in this in your life. You start to realize who you are, what you do, and you start taking time and really honoring yourself. Because I learned this early on in my life is that whatever you give time to will then take your time. Think about that statement. Whatever you give time to will eventually take your time. And that's how we spend life. So something to consider in that. Monique, are we ready? There we go. We got you.
All right. So let's see. I have a couple of micros. One, I asked my daughter to join me on day 1. We came in a little late, and she's been with me on day 1, day 2, and day 3. So Marissa Birch is on here.
Where is she? Where is she?
And then
where's Marissa Birch? Your mom is calling you out. Where is she? I don't see her. I need to find her. Oh, no, that's Melissa. Marissa Birch. Do we find her, team? Do we have her? No, I don't think she's on. I think she's telling you, but I don't think she's on.
all right. No, she was going to be driving, so she
Oh,
was
maybe
gonna
not.
hop
Okay, no
on.
worries. She got lucky that I didn't call her out. That's all right. So your daughter's doing this with you. I love that. Number 1. Cool.
And then I added, I signed up for the Rewire as you suggested.
Great job.
Because we had talked about it. So I'm excited about that. And then I invited my guest to be my son, who left this morning to do his Navy Reserve work. So he will be gone for the next 5 days off into Virginia, leaving Texas. And he needs a rewire because he is totally wired up completely between, all of my kids. Obviously, if me losing my husband, they lost their father, not to mention just the stresses of so all of those things. So those are 2. I've got one more kid I got to grab and bring on. So those are my micros. Yay!
Look
so
at
I'm
you,
happy
Mama.
about that.
Look at you, Mama, living in your values and don't even know it. Great job. Great job. Awesome work. I want to go to Alpha. Let's go to Alpha. I want to hear from Alpha this morning. All the way from DC. DC is one of my favorite cities.
Yeah.
There you are, my man.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
Yeah. Good. Good to see you, man.
You too, my friend. So tell
I
me.
was excited. I can't wait to be here, man.
Oh, that's great. I love that. Thank you so much. So what's a big micro win you had?
Yeah. For today, it's more about having peace of on my own. Like I'm doing, I'm calm, I'm relaxed. I know everything's going to be alright. Like I start being more peaceful with myself.
That's a great job.
Because before I try to have too much, think too much about what others will say about me or will think about what I'm doing or say. So it's a relief to know I don't care about what they think now.
Just that simple. It doesn't matter, right? There's an old line that everybody knows that you've all heard of, right? What others think of me is none of their business type thing,
Yeah.
right? You've all heard that. But I think there's so much
Yes.
truth to understanding, like, you know what? And this is so, the more you love yourself, the less you worry about other people's opinions of you. And it's just kind of this place where the more you get clear on who you are in your life and what you do, the less you worry about other people and their opinions. And, you know, how old are you, Alpha?
37.
37. Beautiful. It's a great age. Great age. Dr. Martin Kohlenberger talked about 37 is the age where you wake up to actually knowing who you are and stepping into that power, or actually falling prey to society and being caught up in society's world. And that's why a lot of men and women, but will go through a midlife crisis around that time. You'll either move into your own self-empowerment or you'll fall into the self-empowerment of others. I see you, Priya. Wake up. I got you. Right? And so when you're looking at it, you're asking yourself the question, who am I? I mean, that's such a brilliant question where you're at. And right now, just saying, I don't need other people's opinions. That's a great place to start. So great job, Alpha.
Yeah.
Great job. Great work. I want to call one more person today. Let me see. Who do I have today? I'm going to call on John Kosian. Hope I'm saying it right. Let's call on John. John Kosian. John K. There he is. Hey, John.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great. How are you? Tell me about you. Where are you from? What are you doing? Who's your favorite superhero?
I'm from Texas. I have been thinking about the superhero thing. I don't know. I'm kind of I guess I'm searching there. You know.
That's okay.
So yeah.
And what do you do?
Had some good micro wins. I decided a while back to get rid of the corporate world, go into business for myself, and just really attack some things that needed to be put aside yesterday and today. And there's 4 or 5 things that I'd been hanging on to, and I just did them and got rid of them. So
great job.
Really worked out well.
I love that. What do you do now? What kind of business are you in?
Insurance and financial services.
Fantastic. Good for you, my friend. Great job. Keep up the great work. We have a lot of Texans here. Who's from Texas? Raise your hand. I thought there were more. Everyone we seem to be calling on seems to be coming from Texas. Maybe that's what it is. So, just coincidence. Well, thanks for being here, John. I appreciate it so much. Let's give it up for John, everybody. Great work.
Thank you.
Great work. Okay, so we've got a lot of work to do. We've got to cover a lot of content, a lot of information. I hope you've got your pens and papers ready. I hope you printed out your worksheets today, because I've got a lot to do. So let's dive right into it. Human beings are stuck in positions. We all are. As in this place of yesterday, we talked about this. If you recall, if I recap with you, we started from a place of understanding what your why not is and what the why not means to your life, what the why not is doing for you. And then as we progress, yesterday we talked about the idea of what coherence is for you and incoherence. And you actually had to do the emotional regulator yesterday to see what emotional state are you really in. Now, you don't have to tell me, actually type in the chat box. How many people actually were in coherence, in the state of coherence, more than 50% of the time? Just put yes in the chat box. Let's go to the chat box here. More than 50% of the time, put yes for me. Okay. Great. I see a bunch of yeses. Good. Good. How many people realize that they were in incoherence more than 50% of the time? Just for clarity, just put no so I can see the differentiation, right? Just put no, I wasn't in coherence. No. Okay, good. Right? Claudia says no. Caleb says no, I wasn't. Monique says I wasn't. Okay. Amir says I wasn't. Okay, great. Sabrina says you weren't as well. Fantastic. Now, why is that important? Because we can't make changes until we know who we are, where we're at. We can't make any changes until we know where we're at. So people will sit and say, I want to be balanced. I want to be in a balanced state. I wish I could be more balanced. But first you have to understand, where are you? Are you in a state of balance or imbalance? And in my world, I call that the zone of inspiration versus the zone of desperation. So if we go to the board here, I want to explain this to you. Your nervous system is designed in a state of sympathetic or dorsal parasympathetic. That's just for my doctors and my geeks out there. But this zone of desperation is the sympathetic. Now, if I look at this, you also have the zone of desperation here. And if you look at the notes of it, you feel stuck. Anybody ever currently feel stuck in your life? Please put your hands up. Okay, great. That would tell me instantaneously that you feel in the zone of desperation. Anyone feel lost at all? Put your hands up. Yeah, a lot of people do. Scared. Man, this is a big one. How many people feel scared? Yeah, a lot of people do. And that's okay. Perfectly okay. How about hyperactive? Anyone feel hyperactive at all? Yeah, a lot of people do. They're like, I got so much to do. I got so much to get done. And you look at it and you say, well, I'm living in the zone of desperation. Now, when you're in a desperate zone, how do you respond to the environment? How do you, like Emily said earlier, what is your state of your nervous system? What is the regulated state that you're in? Chances are you're probably in a totally desperate state of awareness. And what desperate means is that you're making decisions that are really not the greatest for you. They're there for survival. Okay? Because you've all heard this idea that I want to live in abundance. You've heard that before, right? Of course you have. Now, you can't live in abundance if you're stuck in desperation. It's impossible to. You can try it, but you won't. Because as long as you're stressed and in the sympathetic state, your body says, I need to, and I have to, and I'm struggling, and I've got to fight, and I've got to persist, and I've got to grind it out, and I've got to work harder. Any of these sound familiar? Say yes, put your hand up because I can see you guys, right? We're having a conversation, remember, right? You say this language to yourself, and this is feedback for you telling you're in the zone of desperation. Okay, if that's the psychology of this, then what is the physiology of this? We kind of talked about this yesterday, but what's going to happen when you feel desperate and you feel like you don't have control and your sympathetic nervous system turns on and you have these root experiences that are keeping you stuck here or here, and you're looking at it and saying, I want to get to the next level, but I feel stuck, lost, scared, hyperactive. What happens? Your heart rate goes up, and not in a healthy way. Your resting heart rate goes up. It's elevated. Your blood pressure rises. Your thyroid goes down. Your digestive system goes down. Motility goes down. Your cortisol goes up. Weight goes up. Libido goes down. Physiology slows down. What that means is the body doesn't work the way it's intended to. Brain fog goes up. Memory goes down. Clarity goes down. Depression goes up. Anxiety goes up. Tendency of, I'll call them suicidal thoughts, they go up. And we look at it and we say, where are we in our life? And what we have to do, we have to navigate this. I don't care if it's because of money. I don't care if it's because of health. I don't care if it's because of your relationships. It makes no difference. Any of these types of experiences in your life could be something that happened with your mother, your father, your uncle, your aunt. Could be a business partner. Could be that you invested a bunch of crypto and you lost it. It could be that you thought, hey, look, I'm going to invest in the stock market in 2008 and October 29th happened and everything crashed. It could be that you bought a house on the high end and it went down. Doesn't matter what happened because it's not what happens that matters. It's how you perceive what happens that matters. And any of these things that have happened in your health, in your wealth, in your relationships, in your own self physiology and your psychology will lead you to stay desperate. And then what most people will do is they'll sit and say, you know what? I'm stuck in this state of desperation. And then you know what I'm going to do is I got to go to the doctor And typically it's a medical physician. And that, I'm not against medicine. Again, there's great medical doctors and there's not so great medical doctors, which is okay. But the answer to that for most people is not going to be lifestyle changes. The answer to that for most people is going to be some pill, potion, or something to numb and chemically relax ourselves. And then we sit and say, you know what? I need some lorazepam to make myself feel better. I need some Zoloft to drop the anxiety. I need some, or to depression inside of here. Or I need some Ambien to make myself sleep better. You are not in a deficiency of Ambien. I just want you to know that. Like, your body does not make Ambien. You're not in a deficiency of these things. So why doesn't your body work optimally? This is the question I've been asking myself since I was 7 years old. I said, how do we make the body work optimally? And then here's the thing, is that I hope you get what I'm about to say, is when your body works optimally, Diane, your life expresses fulfillment. Hold on. What did he just say? I'll say it again. When your body functions optimally, your body expresses fulfillment. And that's been the journey. That's been my entire journey. How do we get the body to do that? What do we need to do? And what happens is that most people will go here and then they'll go the pharma route. And that's cool. That's your choice. And I'm okay. And there's a time and place for it. But what I figured out, and what a lot of people have figured out, I'm not the only one that's saying this, but we have these things called root experiences. A lot of people, therapists, and that will call them traumas. And they say, oh, we got these traumas. Yeah, but here's the thing, is that traumas, you will sit and say, you know what? I've never been raped. I've never had a bad childhood. My parents love me. I have a great experience of life and everything's been fantastic. And it's good. And you're right. You probably have had a great childhood. Maybe you weren't left at on the streets and grew up homeless. And we hear all these crazy stories, but here's the problem, is that when we hear the crazy stories, we compare our stories to theirs, don't we? We say, mine's not as bad as theirs. But here's the thing. The nervous system doesn't give a rat's ass. It doesn't compare one to the other. Your cognitive thing says, oh, that must be worse than failing a test. It doesn't matter. The nervous system responded the way that it did. And you think at that time, well, being lost or scared or, being raped or losing a bunch of money, that's worse. That's much harder of a situation. Mine's nothing as hard as yours. You know what? I've got nothing to complain about. Maybe. But if I teach you how to actually do this and you actually learn how to do this, neither does the other person. Nobody has anything to complain about, because when we can see it, we understand that it actually serves us, and we understand and we rewire the system, then we realize it's not there to hurt us. It's actually there to serve us, and we wake up to it. See, most people are taught this idea that you're a victim in your health. You're a victim in your life. You're not a victim of any of it. You are the creator of all of it. And if you can take that empowerment and the creator of it, how many people know a guy named Bob Proctor? Right? Anyone know Bob Proctor? Right? He recently passed away. He was a mentor of mine and a friend of mine, and someone I had a chance to get to know several years ago. And he always said, in his Bob Proctor way, right? He always said that you create your illness. And even as a doctor, I was like, no, I didn't quite get it. But he was right. Your thoughts create your reality. There's truth to that. He actually learned everything truthfully. Bob told me, he said he learned everything he knew about the human body from Thurman Fleet, who used to be a chiropractor, from my chiros on the line, actually. He used to actually learn it from Thurman Fleet, who's a chiropractor. And his whole stick model that you guys have seen, that was actually from Thurman Fleet from the 1930s. And it's great. It's fantastic. But how do you now navigate this? Because what's happening is that your system is stuck in desperation this whole time. We've got to eliminate this root experience and move you to the state of inspiration. Now you got to ask yourself, do you live inspired or desperate? Because listen to the next statement I'm about to make. When you live in desperation, your oxygen levels go down. You don't get full inspiration of breath. You don't get all the air into your system. And oxygen is the key nutrient that's needed for life force into your body. For the life force into your body. If you don't get oxygen into your body, you're dead. There's only one cause of death. Only one ultimate cause of death. And this has been decided, and people will never tell you this. They'll say, oh, they had a heart attack, they had a disease, it's this, it's diabetes, it's that. No, it's not. It's one thing. The ultimate cause of death for every single one of us throughout humanity will be one thing. It will be a lack of oxygen to the brain. It will be hypoxia to the brain. So if you don't bring oxygen into the body, you are literally slowly, daily dying. So when I use the word desperation, that's exactly what I mean. If you are not breathing and doing the things that bring you more inspiration and let your lungs expand more, then you are doing things on a daily basis that are desperation and causing your lungs to contract more. And you're not getting the oxygen into your body. And what you're thinking is that, hey, look, I've got a problem and my oxygen levels are going down. My organic function is going down. And when the organic function starts going down, you say that there's a problem with the liver, the kidney, the pancreas. No, it's a problem with the oxygen hitting those parts of the system. We get the oxygen up, we get the inspiration up, your body moves from desperation into inspiration, and what happens is your heart rate goes down, and your resting heart rate goes down. Your blood pressure drops. Your sugars normalize. Your hypertension goes away, as I said. Your inflammation goes down. Your CRP levels in your body go down. You know what CRP is, your inflammation markers. Your thyroid begins to metabolize properly, and your metabolism starts to work properly. You sleep at night from 10 to 6. Consistently, you get tired at 10 and you wake up at 6. That's the normal circadian rhythm of a human body that's inspired. Now, if you go back and look at that board, you're going to say, what the hell is on that board? Because I'm looking at it and saying, wow, I can't even read that crap. So obviously I'm a doctor. That's what it means, right? But I say that all to you because I want you to gather that. Are you in desperation or inspiration? Put in the chat box for me. Type in the chat box if you're on Facebook, TikTok, or Instagram. Type in the chat box. Are you living in desperation or inspiration? I want to see who's here. Are you in desperation or are you in inspiration? Someone's saying desperation. Okay, great. Desperation, desperation. Sandy says inspiration, desperation, inspiration. Marion says I go back and forth. Fair enough. Nick says inspiration. Priya says both. Occasional inspiration. Becoming more inspired, Maine is saying. Right? Was in desperation recently until Dr. T's work. I agree. Transitioning from desperation into inspiration. Great. Okay. That's why we're here. Because what I want you to gather here is that I don't really care if I will say something that it's going to sound like kind of oxymoronic at some level, but I don't care if you end up happy or sad. I care that you end up inspired, because inspired will give you greater longevity. Inspired will get you greater relationships. Inspired will get you greater opportunities to make more money in your life, because you are breeding life. Life is the mystery, and we can solve it. We can solve it. Life is that. That's what we're here to do. But oftentimes we get caught up in society, in the people around us, and we get caught up in what we're supposed to do in society, and they build these rules inside of us, and then now we have these root experiences. And they could start from birth or even before sometimes, all the way to the point of our current moment. And here's the thing that I want you to gather. They happen every single moment of every single day. So if you think that you don't have them, get off the doobie, because that's just not reality. Every single one of us has this. This is part of life, right? So Nina, you can sit and say, oh, my life's not as bad, or my situation is not as bad. Every one of us has it. So if you think that you're running away from it, you have a massive delusion under your hand. And personal development, as much as it's been great, is allowing you to wake up to maybe some of the rules that you've placed on yourself, but it's making you put on the persona of the new mask. And the new mask that comes into your life. And that new mask that comes into your life says, I have to be more happy. I have to be more successful. I have to have greater health. I have to have greater relationships. And all you're doing is sitting saying, I got to be this. I got to be this. I got to be this. But let me ask you a fucking question. Who's teaching you how to be yourself? Nobody teaches you to be yourself. Nobody teaches you how to be yourself. What they do is they sit and say, you know what? If you want to be successful, you've got to get up at 5 a.m. and you got to run a marathon before the day even begins. And then you got to eat healthy. Then you got to run healthy. And then you know what? You should have sex with your husband or your wife first thing in the morning before you get up and go, because that's when your libido is going to be the highest if you want to save your relationship. Then you got to make sure that you go read a chapter from the Bible or the scriptures for yourself, whatever it is for you. And then you got to make sure you make all your food, because eating out, that's unhealthy. You got to work out for 2 hours and do all those ab exercises inside of it. And you're supposed to do that and make sure you get 8 hours of sleep. How is that even possible? And show up at work for 8 a.m. Who's doing that? Nobody. I'm telling you right now, nobody is doing all of those things. It's impossible, because you can't be successful living on someone else's rules. If you're ready to make your own rules and realize what your rules are, put a yes in the chat box for me. Put yes in the chat box that I'm ready to make my own rules and actually live in accordance to who I am. That's mastery of your life. If you master your life, that's what the name of the game is. When you master your journey, your game, your experience, you don't have to play on someone else's rules. Just like Alpha was saying earlier, I'm not worried about what other people think at the moment. But here's what's going to happen is that if you have these root experiences tomorrow or the day after or 3 days later, it's going to creep in. It's going to creep in because as much as you try to run away from it, it's part of your system, which is what I said to you on day one. It's part of your system. You can't just sit and say, I'm just not going to have negative thoughts anymore. Done. It's gone. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Or you know what? I've decided from this moment forward, I'm not going to let anyone bother me. Their opinions don't matter to me anymore. Just not true. How many people have tried to do that in the past? Please put up your hands. How many people have been successful? Please, everyone just drop your hands, because no one has. It's completely impossible. You care less about the opinions of the people you've transcended, not the people you look up to. And if you don't transcend them, you'll continue to look up to them and look for their approval. And those root experiences will run your life. They'll run your health. They'll run your relationships. They'll run your life. You only worry about the people's opinions of you who you have not transcended. Those of you who, you don't worry about the people you've transcended. Let me ask you a question. Do you worry about the opinion of your friend when you were or in grade 3 that you don't keep in touch with anymore? That it's not a part of your life? No. But I'll tell you whose opinions you do care about. Your mom, your dad, your uncle, your aunt, your friends, your teachers, your preachers, your relationships, your partners, the people you look up to, your mentors, your friends. And if you hold on to that, you now stay stuck in that game. And they stop you from creating your life. They stop you from creating your life. I love what Caleb's saying. I want my opinion of myself to be more than the opinion of what others think of me. Brother, I did too. I did too. And I had to figure out the actual science behind it. And I did. I figured out where it began, how it started, where the whole story began. It's far more than the science of it is far more I can get into here, but At Total Rewire, I'll go through that in detail so you see where it began, how it started, what you did, and then how to transcend it. Because when you transcend it, it's like, oh, geez, I can't believe I was letting that hold me back. Geez, it's such a little thing. But you know what? It was running your life. Whatever you haven't transcended is running your life. And it's affecting you in your creation. It's affecting and living the life you want to. I know you've said to people 1,000 times over is that I want to live a life that's so aspirational. I want to travel the world, do all these things. And it's all good. It's great. I love it. I think it's a great opportunity to do that. But there's a system to this. There's a model that I want to share with you. And this model lets you look at your life and ask yourself some questions. That's not the model. That's the model. If you don't master this thing called health, you've got to master health. It's key. If you don't understand that your vessel is here and like everything that's going on in here is a direct reflection of what's going on in your psychology, it affects your physiology. It affects your health. It affects the way you express it, from the way that you walk, believe it or not, to your way you stand up in your posture, to the way that you actually breathe. All of these things are impacted by what's going on in here. 100% of them. You can't run away from it. You've got to master relationships. Look, the reality is this: 50% of people will end up divorced. 70% of people 70% of people who are married wish they were divorced, and 30% are really happy. So that means 20% of the people who are actually in relationships are truly thriving in some capacity. So the 80-20 rule of Pareto's principle really applies inside of this, because it's not that we don't love the partner we're in. We don't love ourselves in the relationship we're in. You may tell me all day long that I love my husband, I love my wife, and you probably do. But the problem is you don't love yourself in the relationship that you're in. And you try and fix everyone else around you, and you think that they're the problem when it's not. It's always been you, because the mirror is you, right? And so you don't fix you. You don't look at this internal being of yourself, and you look and say, it's my husband's fault, my wife's fault. And I was there too, so I'm not preaching from an ivory tower. I did the same thing with my ex-wife. It's her fault. It's her fault. It's her fault. But the reality is that it's me. I've got to love me in order to fix a relationship. But most people walk into a relationship thinking that the other person's going to fix it. Or a lot of times I hear younger people say, you know what? I need a kid because I need something to do. They think a child is going to fix it. It's like, are you kidding me? No. The worst mistake I think people can make is have children when they don't love themselves. I make this statement all over the world and I get ridiculed for it, but please understand when I say this, just because you can have kids doesn't mean you should. Because there's a lot of people who have children that are bringing children into the world that are really creating chaos for the children and their lives. There's a point and a time and responsibility where that comes into play. And the real relationship is not your partner. The real relationship is yourself. The real relationship is yourself. And the third is money. Wealth. If you don't master wealth, nobody's going to come give you their money. I promise you. The government will gladly keep you on handouts to make you survive, but you'll have the lowest creation of life possible. You'll have to live on Social Security. You'll have to live on $2,000 a month. You will have to do whatever you will, but you will be stuck at the lowest relegated place in life. And I don't mean that to sound like a doomsday person. I'm not. Just look at the statistics. Medicare is going bankrupt. Why? Because people aren't taking responsibility of their health. Plain and simple, right? We've given out over $3 trillion. Where do you think the government's going to come up with more money? If you don't empower the game of money for yourself, if you don't empower the game of money for who you are, then you're lost. But remember this with money. If you're holding on to a root experience that could be in your health, your relationships with your uncle, your dad, your mom, and there's resentment that's in your life, and that resentment Whatever you resent, you resist. And whatever you have guilt towards, you give away towards. So if you're holding on to any state of emotion in incoherence, and you said I'm in a zone of desperation in any capacity, wealth is going to be difficult for you to attain. And Nina, you may create it. You may get wealthy and make lots of money. But here's the problem is you're going to give it away. You won't be able to hold on to it. Because people think that the answer to getting wealthy is think and grow rich. No, it's rewire so that you, when you do think, then you can hold on to the richness that you create. It's not arbitrary. There is a science to this process. And when you change your neurophysiology, for my personal development and vibrational sound healers and my people who get this, you change the vibrational frequency at which you exist. And your vibrational frequency now is functioning at a higher playing field. But if you're stuck and you're just trying to do positive affirmations and trying to be happy all the time, you're stuck at the same fucking frequency you've always been. But you've just bullshitted yourself long enough. That's all it is. Nothing's changed inside that. The frequency has to change from the organs. And that comes from your thinking. It comes from your cellular physiology. It comes from you on the inside. Because here's what happens. If you don't fix the money, you'll end up and be angry and hold on to anger towards yourself. But you'll blame society, government, spouses, inside that. If you don't fix your relationships, you'll end up angry at others and yourself. If you don't fix your health, you will guaranteed increase in your health costs, but you'll end up with low energy and vitality. Lifespan decreases and the quality of life goes down. This is not my opinion. This is evidenced by our reality of life. This is evidenced by our reality of life. And we can do anything we want to try and support it and grow it, but it's just not going to build in that sense, right? Because we get stuck in this psychology. We get stuck in these states right now. So if this is making sense to you, put yes in the chat box with me, because you have the control to master these three things in your life. I'm getting some yeses, okay? These three areas of your life are essential for you to take charge of. And if you stay scared in this, the emotion, you end up, time continues to pass. Time will continue to pass no matter what. But your experience of life will continue to go down. Your experience of life will continue to go down. And you'll look for things on the outside to make you feel better. Sugars, drugs, cigarettes, alcohol. Anything that's a dopamine substitute, you'll look for that to make yourself and your life feel better. And you'll sit and say, you know what? Oh, I just got home. I need to crack open a beer. Why? Oh, I had a tough day at work. Let me have a beer. Or maybe, you know what? I'm just going to drink some Coke. I'll have some Coke. You know what? It's been tough. Let me just have a cigarette. Let me have that smoke. Oh, man, I feel so much better. That feels better. Or you know what? Let me have a cookie. Because that cookie, it's good. Makes you feel better in that short term. And you think, wow, that's amazing. Or even better, caffeine. You know what is the best, smartest business in the world to fuck people up? Starbucks. You give them caffeine and an entire liquid form of sugar. And people are out the line. They can't afford their mortgage or their apartment bills, but they will get their $5 mocha, frappuccino, cappuccino, whatever it is, for $6 a fucking day. And they'll complain about gas prices and inflation. Can you believe gas prices? Oh my goodness, they're $4.72 a gallon. But they don't do the math to realize that 1 gallon of Starbucks coffee is 72 gallons. Excuse me, dollars. Excuse me, $27, not 72. $27. That's the delusions that we're under. $27 a gallon. But let's continue to do it. That's why you've got to become more aware. You've got to wake up to this stuff for yourself because nobody's going to come do it, right? And here's how it works. It's very simple. Most of us are caught in this world. If the world is sitting out here, in here, I want to change this here. No, that's right, actually. Excuse me. It's right on my page. On your forms at home, just make sure that the arrows are pointing inward, back to the human, back to the person. What we do is we look to the world out of our defensiveness and our need to protect our identity that sits in here, whatever, and our identity is based in our fear and the emotions that we're telling ourselves. What we do is we try to control the world around us. So we do. We try to control the world around us. But when you rewire yourself to a place where you actually get to love yourself and really and I don't mean like this infatuation love. I mean, just appreciate your life, that you get to get up in the morning, that you get to do life, and you get to all the challenges that you go through, everything, every experience that you've ever had gets rewired, rebalanced, and organized. And the major ones, especially, get rebalanced and organized so that you grow. You start coming off with true love for your life. And I don't mean love again, not, non-success love. What if I change love and I put it success love, because they kind of go hand in hand. Love equals success and success equals love. They kind of go back and forth. Because you can sit and say you want money, great, but if you don't love yourself and money, you don't have money. I guarantee it. You can sit and tell me that you love your health, and if you don't have love yourself, there's no health. If you can sit and tell me that you want to have greater relationships, if you don't love yourself, you don't have greater relationships. I guarantee it. Like, that's not arbitrary. That is a fact, because you can have these pieces that are not authentically yours. What you'll end up is, when you love the world, it seems like there's this principle and this law, this mirror, this reflection that comes back in your life, that comes at you. And what it does, it throws back to you love. When you love yourself, you resonate at a frequency that you love the world around you. You get love back inside that. And I can see that you can't see that color clearly. So let me rewrite that. You get love back. But, and this is the big but, the more we place this idea of control on the world to protect ourselves, living in desperation, and our physiology and our bodies continues to break down and is beating ourselves up, we end up getting suffering. And we can label suffering with anxiety. We can label suffering with depression. We can label suffering with suicidal thoughts. We can label suffering as living in desperation. But as long as we're suffering, we're never going to get to be who we are. As long as we're trying to control everything around us, and you don't learn to control the real thing that's in here by getting to the root cause of it and rewiring it so that you can be present, so that you can live in this state and move forward, you get stuck in that old pattern. Now, let me ask you a question. As I say this to you, how many people want to live an inspired life where they don't want to suffer anymore? If that's you, put up your hand. Right? Just connect with me on that. Right? Exactly. I'm with you. Right? I didn't want to live there either. And I don't live there. And I'm grateful that I don't. I did for a long time. And it took me a long time to figure it out. I lived in a relationship where, to the world I was happy, and to the world I had everything you're supposed to have. I had money, I had a relationship, I had, kids, I had cars, I had a practice, I was a doctor, I had all these things to myself. And then I gave it all up, lost it all, gave it all up, and had to figure out my path, my journey. And in it, I had to save my own life multiple times over. I had to figure out what I had to do to be able to grow and just become authentic to who I was. And I had to figure out who I was and not stay behind other people's shadows, and stand up and bring in myself into my own light. And I say that to you all because it's scary at times, and I get it. It's completely scary at times. It's not easy. But the only reason we hold on to that fear and I did too, is because we didn't value ourselves enough and love ourselves enough to bring ourselves to the surface, to bring our authentic self to the table so that other people can actually get to be that and see who we are. Because you know what? Then they're going to do exactly what we were talking about earlier. They're going to judge us. Who are you to think you're supposed to do that? Who are you to live this way? Who are you to have the greatest life possible? Who are you to be able to fly first class? Who are you to be able to drive a nice car? Here's the thing, when you do it to impress other people, you lose it. When you do it for the experience for yourself, you get to sustain it. And that's the difference. That's the difference inside of it. And I want to introduce you to some people right now who actually have gone through this same journey for themselves and ask themselves the question, like, what do I want out of my life? What do I need out of my life? What do I want to grow? Would it be inspiring for, I mean, this is a lot of content. And I hope you go back and watch this again and again and again, because the science of this is deep. And I'm trying to be as broad stroke as I can with it. And I hope that you'll join me down further rabbit holes to learn more, deeper. And my mastery students, would you agree to me that there's a lot more to learn? There's a lot more to learn. So if you think that you got it, there's a lot more there. And so I invite you to take those steps. But I want to introduce you to 3 people here who valued themselves enough to sit at a program like this, a workshop, a 3-day workshop like this, to say, you know what, I want to learn more about my life, because this guy's got something. He's saying something that I haven't heard before. How many people have been on this program and are here and saying, listening to this and saying, you know what he's saying, I haven't heard before. I haven't connected this before. Is that true for anybody here? The rest of you have heard all this information before. You've known this. You've mastered all this. Well, then maybe you should be teaching this, I think. But chances are you haven't. Or if you have, maybe it's a refresher for you. I don't know. But if that's the case, then dive deeper, because it could be the beginning. So I want to introduce you to 3 people who took the steps and valued themselves and joined me at Total Rewire. And I'd like to bring up Rich, Don, and Connie. Are you guys there? I think first we have Rich. Rich, are you there?
There he is.
Yep, I'm here.
How are you, my man?
I'm doing fabulous.
I love it. I love it. Real quick, can you tell everyone kind of what you came to Total Rewire a little while ago, about a year ago, actually, almost to the day. And what was your experience of Total
Just
Rewire?
over.
What did it do for your life?
Well, first I did the Total Rewire just to appease a friend,
Mm-hmm.
a wonderful friend. She was our dog trainer, and she committed. Says, "Hey, I have an opportunity for you. Would you like to join?" And it means that you join for a Total Rewire of 3 days. And at the time, I'm just like, yeah, okay, whatever. Sure. So, as you speak of identities and things of that nature, my identity was hidden behind a bottle. And to come into the Total Rewire and spend those 3 days and have you tell me that there is another opportunity for you to love yourself. And are you willing to take that step for yourself? And so, that weekend, I was still drinking. I tried not to, but I still had a couple shots. I won't lie. And it gave me the opportunity to get a foundation on how I was now totally lying to myself, who thought I loved myself and didn't have any idea who this person was.
And what happened after Total Rewire?
And so for my life after that, it was 2 days after Total Rewire,
Tuesday night. Had to be April 13th would be the day. And I woke up on April 14th. And my wife said, I can't take you anymore. I'm leaving. And I had no idea what I did. I had no idea. And I'm like, okay. So in my mind, I'm going, well, that's kind of a crappy way to wake up. And so at that moment, I made a confession to her that you can do whatever you need to do. Goodbye. I love you. But I'm gonna stop drinking right now. And I'm gonna work on myself. I love you. I'm gonna commit to this, and I'm gonna do this. And she didn't believe me. She didn't think that I could follow through. So what a piece of shit I am. And looking in the mirror, telling myself that you're the man. You got your own business now. You make the calls. And what really transformed for me over that period of time was when I could start loving myself. Everybody around me became inspired, and it was pretty incredible. And you guys a lot of you saw my video yesterday and night before last when my wife told me, I'm so glad to be with you. I'm so happy to be with you. That her and I can continue being in a relationship.
Hold on, we lost audio, Rich. Hold on, we lost audio. 1 second. I'm not sure what happened there.
Yeah, am I back?
Yeah, you're back. There you go.
Yeah, something cut out. So me taking that first step with you, Dr. Rewire, and you called me on my bullshit because you did a lot. I really didn't know who this guy was. I just knew I was intrigued. And when we can start to love ourselves, we can inspire so many.
And so now what's happened in your life since then?
Oh man, so much has happened. I had
tell
my
us
1 year anniversary.
1 year anniversary of
being sober.
Let's give it up for that. Right? Great job, man. Honestly, great job. Huge.
Thank you. I was trying to think about the percentages. They're hard to calculate in half a year, but I'm not even at half a year. And my business is probably already grown, I don't know, 300%.
Not a bad ROI, 300% growth, right? That's fantastic.
And things like Kim and I got to go up to Payson yesterday, so we were in and out of day 2. But a client loved my value and service so much that she invited me up to her Payson house to look at some work. And Kim got to experience on another hand a client going, this guy is the best locksmith anywhere. And for that to happen last year, I don't know that somebody would have that expression with as angry, narcissistic, pessimistic. All those words were me looking in the mirror, lying, saying, you're the man.
No,
and I really wasn't.
So no more drinking. Money is up. And obviously you and your beautiful bride are still together.
Yes.
Was those 3 days worth changing the course of your life?
100%.
There you go, my friend. Let's give it up for Rich. Let's give it up for Rich. Huge. Right? And Rich is just like you and me. He's a guy, just a human being. We're all humans. We all got our journeys. right? And Rich wouldn't come on here, and many of you won't come on here and say, oh, like I drink too much, or I smoke weed, or I do cocaine, or like you don't have to tell me. It doesn't matter. It's not about that. He came to the program, didn't say any of that, but that's what's going on in his life. Because whatever's inside of our private life, we don't want to tell people because we're embarrassed about it. But that was his life at that time. And now he's a completely different human being. And I'm humbled. We didn't even talk about his health and the weight he's lost. And like everything has changed because he decided to step up for himself and rewire his journey. Next up, I want to bring up Connie Mathis. Connie, are you there?
Yes.
There she is. Connie, welcome.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Excellent. So when did you come to Total Rewire and what did that do for your life?
I came to Total Rewire back in January of this year. I was introduced to you by my chiropractor, Dr. Ashley.
Okay, great. So you came in January. What did those 3 days at Total Rewire do for you in your life, in your health, in your wealth, and your relationships? Where were you and what did it do after that for you?
I think I'm going to talk about my relationships.
Sure.
I believe before Dr. Chi, I was more in a sense of pushing people away, not wanting to build relationships due to the fear of rejection, not being good enough. After working through Total Rewire, I realized that I am more than enough. And what I was living, or story I was telling myself, is the story of others. I wasn't living my authentic story and being myself. I was trying to appease others. So from there, I was able to live in my highest fulfillment and be able to love myself and move forward. And since then, friendships have grown, relationships with siblings and parents have grown, relationships at work have developed and become a solid foundation. So for me, it was a big deal to establish those foundations based off of who I was or who I am.
If someone's sitting here watching and they're on the fence with Total Rewire and saying 3 days, that's a long time, what would you tell
them? Go for it. Invest in yourself. I probably was on the fence for a good 6 months before I decided to actually kind of go all in, devote my time, my focus, my energy into a 3-day opportunity with you. And after investing in it, I realized that it was worth it. I feel like that's even an understatement. It was more than worth it. So go for it. Go for it.
I love that. Let's give it up for Connie. Great job, Connie. Thank you so much. And last but not least, I want to call up on Don Seeley. Don, are you there?
Yes, I am. How are you doing today?
I'm good, my man. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. It's finally sunny and above 45 degrees in Ohio, so life's good.
That is a good day. That is a good day. I get you, man. Chicago's still sitting at 47, so yeah, it is what it is.
Yes, yeah.
I can't control it. So tell everyone where you're from. Well, you said Ohio. Tell everyone what you do and who's your favorite superhero.
So I am a plumber. I own my own plumbing business. Last 2 years, been doing it. Work with my brother full time. So we're kind of doing this thing together. And then superhero, I used to always say Superman, but ever since Total Rewire and the change in thoughts, I've kind of been changing that because I've looked at it from a different perspective. And I think we'll go with Trivedi Land as my superhero for now. And we'll go forward from there and see how it changes and evolves.
It'll always evolve. I appreciate that. So tell everyone kind of where you were before Total Rewire, what happened to Total Rewire, and kind of what changed.
So before Total Rewire, I definitely was just not happy with myself. I was searching for that. Why am I miserable? As I said, I've got my own business. I can check all the boxes of what society is telling me that I'm supposed to have, or you're supposed to have to be happy. So successful business. I have a beautiful family. I got a lovely wife. I've got 3 children. All of them are healthy, happy, so I have all of these things that you're supposed to have. And inside, I'm just miserable. I'm like, this sucks. I don't want to get out of bed in the morning. I run into, times where I'm really down and I'm sitting on the couch eating potato chips for 3 days straight, just, not wanting to participate, not wanting to be involved. And then I would go from times where I'm really high and elated and I'm just pumped up about, something great happened or whatever. And the funniest part of it all is I had no idea why. I would have these fluctuations in my mood and my energy and what I'm doing. And literally would be just going with it. It would just be happening to me, and I'd be sitting there happening. And so I would be frustrated, just struggling with that on the day to day. And that's been a really long time. I'm 44 years old. I've been dealing with that. I had my first kid at 18, and I've been dealing with that for the last 20 some years of my life, of just reacting to the circumstances and not, I would say from now, not even being conscious that how I'm being affected by my surroundings. So, with showing up to Ultimate Rewire and going through that 3-day event with you, it has Total Rewire. I apologize. That 3-day event, I'm sitting there now. It has opened my eyes up to be able to take responsibility for myself. I am seeing how I am affecting me. And I'm starting to look at and be able to see how the surroundings and the emotions that come up, I'm able to identify those that I'm actually able to identify the triggers. Sometimes I do really good at being able to neutralize it and move forward. Other times I still struggle with that. Sorry, I'm getting a phone call in as I'm coming on you. I apologize.
That's
Hold on 1 second.
It's probably a new client.
All right, am I back? Yeah.
There we go.
Actually, it's my brother telling me what's happening with the client, so that's fine. Sorry about that. But so after getting into the Rewire and being able to start to identify these things that have actually been controlling my life and been taking charge of my life, and it's really opened me up to the ability and to see what my values are and who I want to be. What do I want for my life? What do I want moving forward? What am I trying to accomplish? What do I want to obtain? And what do I value? So now looking back, I'm able to see that I've been doing a lot of things that have aligned with those values. And the biggest thing is I've been judging every one of those.
Hang on right there.
So,
hang on right there. How many people can relate to Don right here? That you've been judging your life in every which way inside that, right? If you're on VIP, yeah, I can see your hands. For those of you not on VIP, Michael, I don't know if you can relate to that, or Nina, yeah, you can relate to that. Darcy, I'm sure, right? And we all do, right? So Don, like now that time has passed, what's been the effect because of that?
So the biggest effect is I can stop the judging. I can look at it and say, how is this serving
Don't try and solve it. Just what has been the outcome? What has been the outcome of it? So you can stop judging it. You can have clarity of your life. What else?
I can have better relationships with the people around me. I can see other people for who they truly are and not who I want them to be.
That's it right there. What you just said is so priceless that people will skip over it 10 times over. You can have them, you can see them for who they are, not who you want them to be. There is so much power in that statement right there, because that's the source of authentic love. Dude, I just want to thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Let's give it up for Don.
Thank you for
Good job. Look, I say that to you all, and let's give it up for Rich, for Connie, and Don, because they're They've all got our journey. We've all got our journeys. We've all got our own experiences through our own life, right? And that's why I invite you to join me again at Total Rewire. And I say this because this 3-day event on May 13th, 14th, and 15th is designed to help you rewire every aspect of these 3 areas. You are going to walk away with clarity in who you are. You're going to understand why you do what you do. Your relationships are going to end up more connected. You're going to walk away with greater opportunity to make money. You're going to walk away with greater vitality and energy. And I kid you not, people come to this program all the time and they will email me, call me in the office, Facebook, that I had this disease, I had this condition, and this is now gone. I'm not promising that. I'm not guaranteeing that. But when you create the environment, things begin to heal. I'd like you to watch a short video so we can see a little bit about Total Rewire. No. So as they're queuing up the right video, this is technology. Give me a microphone. That's all we need. As they show up the right video inside this, what you're going to learn at Total Rewire is going to be simple. We're going to go through and we're going to do the 8 steps to rewiring your life and understanding what those 8 steps are inside of you. First, you got to know your belief inventory. Everybody said you've done all the change your belief stuff. And the reality is that how's that working out? Have you ever changed your belief? No, because you haven't done it neurologically. And I'm going to show you exactly how you do that. You got to create a belief inventory. You got to know what the beliefs are. Then you got to find what your exact values are. And when we get the exact values, you're going to know exactly what those values are. You're going to know your financial freedom. When you get the freedom financial formula for yourself, you're not going to, this is not strategy on where to invest and where to put money, right? It's not about that. This is about how do you connect yourself? What's your relationship with money? How do you feel about money? If I say money to you and any of you get anxious or scared or nervous, you got a money relationship that's screwed up. And that's an emotion that's holding you back. You're going to rewire regret, right? We're going to rewire the cases of regret that are holding you back in your life. We're going to go through and we're going to destroy this relationship with money so that you walk away with cash in your hands. You're going to rewire fear. We're going to make you rewire fear. And you're going to do an exercise with me and rewire one of the most detrimental things that's holding you back and do that in 3 minutes. I don't know about you. You could spend 13 years and $50,000, $70,000 in therapy, or you can spend 3 minutes at Total Rewire and rewire all of that. You're going to discover your true identity and what the true identity is for you, right? When you know your identity, just like Rich was drinking because he didn't know who he was. Don was going up and down because he didn't know who he was. Connie was having relationship issues because she didn't know who she was in the relationship. This is the most powerful thing I can teach you. The most powerful thing that I can teach you. And you understand your freedom formula, just like Alpha was saying earlier, you're not going to worry about people's opinions of you. You're not going to have to worry about them because you're going to be able to live on your own terms. Mike, and that's a powerful place when you can live on your own terms. I don't know about you, Claudia, but if you can live on your own terms and sit and say, here's who I am, here's what I do, that's what it's about, right? That is a powerful place, right? That's the key to this whole thing. So do we have that video queued up, the right one this time? Let's play the video.
I was literally on the brink of closing my doors.
I wanted to play like Thelma and Louise and just drive the car straight off the cliff sometimes.
I was living in desperation because that job was sucking the life out of me.
There's more levels to all of this.
I was not able to talk with him at all about money.
How many women feel like that they can't talk to their spouse about money?
I realized that my blind spot is because I was waiting for recognition from my family.
I always wanted to be a leader, a great leader, but I didn't know what I didn't know.
But at the end of that 15 minutes now, whenever I say bankruptcy, I smile.
Did I ever sell you a get-rich-quick scheme?
Nope.
I carry $300 in my wallet without spending it.
Would you ever go back to the old way of life?
Never.
That busted me wide open.
The more I organize my money, the more the money comes.
After doing the work with you, I found out who I really am.
What happened to your income?
It doubled. So glad.
Say that again, so everyone knows.
It doubled.
We've increased our income 51%.
Wait, she said that so quickly. Hold on, wait a minute. You got $500,000? I taught you one thing, and that was to learn to love yourself, and money showed up because of it. Wasn't that it?
Absolutely.
How about that? Rewire your life, make $500,000. That should be on our next ad somewhere. That should go somewhere. I think we should put that somewhere. So there you have it. If that's like, if you're sitting there thinking to yourself, I want to take charge of my life. I want to take control of my health, my wealth, and my relationships. This is the right program for you. This is the place where you're going to get to do this, to take charge of, know how to step forward into who you are. My opinions mean nothing. This is all scientific. This is all neurologic. This is psychological. And we're going to go through and rewire you so that you know how to live your life for your identity. Money shows up, relationship shows up, and your health grows because of that. I ask you this question every single time because I love to know this. Who knows that this is right for them? Put up your hands if you know this is right for you, right? You know that this is right for you. And in every capacity, you say, hey, look, I've got to live a better life. I know I'm worth more. I know I'm designed for more. I just don't know how to figure it out. And I need a mentor and a guide who's figured that out. I figured that out. I will tell you that because I'm not a mentor to all things. I'm not a mentor to all things in my life, but a mentor to this I am. I know this. I can't tell you what stock to invest in. I'm not great at that. There are other people that do that. I'm not great at telling you, how to bake a cupcake. There are other people that do that. But this I know. This I know how to help you get you there. That's why I say join me at Total Rewire, because I know you're going to have an amazing experience. And because you guys are all here for the very first time, nobody knows this. I promise you a special surprise. Here it is. For those of you who are going to join me at Total Rewire, this time we have the unique opportunity to hear from someone who has 11 New York Times bestsellers. He is the mogul when it comes to investing, when it comes to wealth. Let's play this short video. That's right. Robert Allen, the Robert Allen, the real estate and teaching mogul who's taught more people in the real estate industry how to actually live and grow wealth, is actually going to be speaking as a guest speaker at Total Rewire. This is the first time I've ever had someone come to Total Rewire as a guest speaker. And the reason I'm doing that is because Robert is a friend of mine, and he understands the power of values. I've had many conversations. He's a mentor of mine. He's not a real estate mentor of mine. He's a life mentor, right? Like someone who understands who they are, how they live, and what they do. And Robert Allen has been on Oprah. He's been all over the world, but he's taught people how to invest money. He's taught people how to think about money. He's taught people how to build real estate with no money down. And he is going to be joining us and doing a special session for you all not on how to make money. It's not about how to make money. It's not about that at all. Because Robert said one thing to me in our conversation. He goes, yeah, I teach people how to make money, but at the end of the day, I do who I am. And just like you, Alok, he said, just like you, we're the same. We do one thing. We teach. That's who I am. I'm a teacher. And I said, that's it. That's the message people need to hear from Robert Allen. It's not about how to make more money, because it's about who you are ultimately. So Robert Allen, let's pull up the slide here just for a second, is the most influential investment advisors of all time. Of all time. He has literally written 14 bestseller books. His book, Nothing Down, which stayed on the New York Times bestseller for a whopping 54 weeks. 54 weeks was there. It's huge. He's appeared on every major TV network, including Oprah, and has been a part of this. Now, I was sitting there having dinner with Robert. I'll tell you a funny story. I was sitting there having dinner with him, and in 1990 or 1989, he went to San Francisco, and the LA Times did a story with him. And they said, you say no money down, right? He said, no money down. He said, I can teach people how to build real estate and a portfolio with no money down. And he literally they said, okay, we'll put you in the most expensive market, which is San Francisco. And he says, great, I'm going to come here and I'm going to put no money down. They said, we'll give you $100. He said, great. He goes and he buys 3 properties and gives a new newspaper back $13 back in change. And he says, that's how you do it with no money down. That's the power of what this guy is going to bring to you at the table. So please join me inside that. If you're interested in joining me and if you're serious about changing the course of your life, all you got to do is scan this code inside of this. And this code is simple. You just put one of these QR codes where you go to dinner. Normally the program is $497. I promise you, Robert alone is going to be worth more than you could ever imagine. 3 words out of Robert on how to build wealth will make you more money than you could ever dream of. It's worth $497 per person, but it's $197 if you register this week during this challenge inside this, and you'll get the second person for free. So I'm giving you buy one, get one with you, right? So you get to bring a friend along with you. How many people know that they have someone that they would like to help them improve and better their life? If that's true, put up your hands, right? That's it. That's exactly it. If you know that, then this is a great opportunity for you. As a bonus, people ask me, what do I do in preparation to get ready with this? As soon as you buy, you're going to get, or at the end of this, you're going to get 2 months of a course I do called Financial Rewire. This is $1,000 value. That's my gift to you. You're going to get a 3-hour event called Think Wealthy. That's going to change the way you think around money and wealth and your true wealth. And for my entrepreneurs, I'm going to give you the 3-hour program of the Rewire Entrepreneur. This is how you navigate your business, how you navigate money in your business, how you navigate income in your business. That's also $397, total $1,794 in bonuses. All you do is go to Total Rewire now, get registered so we can see you there and take charge of your life inside of that. Look, I know that it's not simple. I'd love to, we don't need to hear from someone sharing. If you look at your life and you ask yourself, do I want to live a greater life? Actually, you know what? I want to hear from someone. I want to hear from someone who understands the value of Robert Allen. Who's in real estate here? Who's in real estate? I'd love to hear from Ryan Schultz. Ryan Schultz. Let's get Ryan here just for a second. Hey, Ryan, how are you, buddy?
Doc, I'm doing great, man. Thanks. I was like, wow, he called my name.
I did call your name. I mean, it's so cool. You've been a part of this community. You've done Total Rewire. How do you feel that, we've got Robert Allen, who's going to come share his message and his words at Total Rewire? How does that make, as a real estate investor, what does that mean to you?
So I started studying real estate under the Robert Kiyosaki Rich Dad, Poor Dad model. And I saw Robert speak, and it was at a convention that cost, I think it was 18 grand. And he was one of 3 speakers. And so I kind of attribute that, like divide that by 3, and that's what it's worth. I'm not going to miss this for anything.
Robert Allen, I don't know if you know this, Robert Kiyosaki learned under Robert Allen.
Yep.
Robert Allen is the godfather of the real estate investing world. Like, he's taught everybody. And so, he is the grandfather of this business and the grandfather who's taught so many people around this. So I just wanted to get a few words from someone who's in real estate to understand the value of that. Thanks, dude. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Thank you. He's like the godfather.
He is, completely. I agree. All right. So for those of you who are going to join me at Total Rewire, I can't wait to work with you there. For those of you, I want you to do one bit. Here we go. So your homework for tonight is this. This is about creating gratitude. This is about creating impact, creating gratitude in your life. And if we don't see the ripple effect of the work that we do, we lose the power of gratitude. And gratitude is the ultimate healer in your life. And I want you to look at your life and say, what am I grateful for? What am I doing? And how does it impact my work? So I've created this form for you to go through that. I call this the ripple effect, right? And the ripple effect is designed like this. So let's say you're looking at someone and you're saying the person that let's say that's someone in your life, your son, for example. And what's your impact to them? I teach him his values. And from that, you look at that impact to the next person. And the next person is, who does he express that to? Maybe it's his teacher at school. And his teacher says, oh, what's the impact to the teacher? That he learns what his values are. This teacher feels like she is able to help him learn. Okay, what's the impact of that? She goes home and that impacts her husband. What's the impact of that? Their relation, and he says, you know what? She feels better about herself. Her husband says, you know what? They get more connected in their relationship. Because if you remember, what I said a little while ago is this. Is if you set from your space from a center of love for the world, then you get love back. But if you try and control the world, then you get suffering back. So what we've got to do is we've got to look at your life and find where you actually have all the love in the world. And look at what you do. It doesn't matter what you do. Look at the impact and the ripple effect of the work that you do, right? Let's give you another example. Let's say that you're working and you're a manager and your employees. Let's say your employee is named Don, right? And Don's impact by you managing Don and teaching him, he's able to have a job, which impacts his family because they get a roof over their head. What's the impact of that to his wife? He says, you know what? The impact to my wife is that she feels safe and secure. What's the impact of that? The impact of that, maybe she expresses that to his son, and she's able to teach him how to love himself. You've got to look through it and you've got to find all these people. So you're going to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people, and you're going to do this ripple of impact all the way through of what does it mean to them all the way through. And as you get to the end, you're going to find in your life a greater ability to be grateful for who you are. Because as I said to, I don't remember who it was I said to yesterday, it's not a matter of trying to improve yourself or better yourself. First, it's a matter of loving yourself where you are. It's easy to compare where you are to other people. It's easy to compare yourself to where you think you want to be. But the answer is to loving where you are now, beginning there, starting where you're at now. So this is your homework. This is your final homework from me inside of this 3-day workshop. And I want you to do this work and I want you to post it. And I want you to post your realizations and I want you to shoot videos inside this. Please don't let this be the end of our relationship. Let this be the beginning. Whether you come to Total Rewire or not, let this be the beginning of our connection, our community. Be active in our community. Be active in asking questions. If you're having a challenge in your life, we're there to support you and help you and challenge you and help you grow. Be part of that. Be engaged with us and me. Don't fall short and say, hey, look, I did this 3 things and that's it. No, let this be the beginning. I know from everyone on my team, I want to thank you all for participating, for playing full out, whether you be on social media here or live on Zoom here with us. Thank you guys for participating. Thank you guys for playing full out. Thank you guys for all your love and your support and your compliments and your challenges and your growth for all of us. For me personally, let me thank you for showing up. And if I never see you again in my life, let me just say this to you, is that I thank you from my heart that allowing me to be a part of your journey, a part of your life. And I hope that I've had just a glimpse of impact for you to ask yourself the question, who you are, why am I here, and who am I designed to be? Because if you are, you'll realize the one simple thing that I've said for many years and to many people is that love is all there is. The rest is just bullshit. It is. So I love you all. Thank you all so much. I appreciate every one of you. Thank you guys for joining me here. I appreciate it.
Wow. Let's give it up for Dr. T. I'd love to see that. Let's give it up. I want everybody on your feet. Give it up for Dr. T. He's done so amazing this week. Oh my God. Just come back up and show your face for just a second. Awesome. Give it up. Awesome. All right, you guys, listen, that was so tremendous. Dr. T poured it on for you guys for 3 whole days. This has been so much fun. I am so excited that you guys are, like he said, starting your relationship with Dr. Trivedi right now. And you are going to take that to the next level, go to Total Rewire, be ready for yourself to take that to the next level. That is so cool.
They are going to actually leave your bonuses up with Total Rewire through Friday. You guys get a couple extra days to get, and I see everybody cheering. Brenda's even cheering. Yes, that means you guys get a couple extra days to get some money in line, whatever you need to do, transfer fund. I don't know what you got to do, but make it happen. We say around here, get resourceful, get decisive, get resourceful, make it happen, right, Brenda? Awesome. I love how she's nodding to me. I appreciate that. That's so great. Keep going with the events and everything that you guys are doing. Post your wins in Total Rewire. Don't, like he said, don't let this be the one time that you check this out and it sounds good, it looks good, I'm having fun, these people are dancing, they seem like they enjoy this, that sounds good. Let this be just the beginning for you. Plug into Total Rewire Facebook group. Get on to Total Rewire as with your tickets so you get those bonuses. It's so important that you stay in the work over the next 3 or 4 weeks, right? That way you don't lose that momentum. You go, okay, now I have my own back office, so I may be able to dabble in what your buddy does. That way I can learn a little bit so I'm ready to go when I get to Total Rewire on May 13th, 14th, and 15th. I have literally, and I want to give a shout out, I know that there's people on here that have literally changed their calendars. As soon as they heard that it was May 13th, 14th, 15th, they went, I'm supposed to be somewhere else. And guess what they did? They canceled their plans or rescheduled their plans, and they are making this happen and getting the Total Rewire. It's life-changing, and I can attest to that for sure myself. Been to quite a few of them, let's just say. All right, this is so cool. All right, well, thank you guys for everything. We are going to stick around for VIP, but like I said, we want to stay on here because you never know when Jolene might throw out a gift certificate to Amazon, right? So I want to give a couple shout outs. Diane Moore, she's been tremendous the entire week. Claudia Pernaro, I just want to give you guys a shout out for everything you guys are doing. Your posts on Facebook and your participation in the chat boxes, participation on VIP, and participation with the entire group. Charmaine, she's been tremendous too. Sabrina, want to give a shout out to those two. And Nina, let's give a shout out to those three for everything they've been doing this entire week too. And again, keep it going. Make sure that you guys are building a community with all of each other and throughout this entire event. But I do want to give it up. Let's do a $100 gift card, Amanda. Can we give that up to Mr. Caleb? I want to give that to Caleb. Caleb has been posting, he's been participating, he's been sharing his wins, and he hasn't missed a moment of Dr. T this entire time. So anyway, we wanted to give it up for Caleb. So thank you for being here. It's been awesome, awesome. You guys have been doing great. Thank you so much for being here. I want you VIPs to stay on here. Ask Dr. T some questions this afternoon. And again, if you need anything you can always reach out to our office. We're here to help you. If there's anything that you guys need, questions that you have, reach out to us. We're always here to help you out, okay? Info at drrewire.com. Info, somebody post that in chat boxes for me, please. Info at drrewire.com. All right. Thank you guys so much. Let's give it up for everybody, and we will see VIPs. You stay right here.